Alright, quick question. What's the very first music player you ever used? An iPod? Maybe a burned CD you threw in a car stereo? Or, if you're feeling ancient, did you rock a Walkman? Okay, so before the iPod, before your Spotify playlist, there was this little brick of magic called the Walkman. Yeah, it didn't stream, it didn't shuffle, but it was the first time people could walk around with music in their ears, and that changed everything. Because here's the thing, before Spotify, before iPhones, even before MP3, people were already figuring out how to take music with them everywhere. And it wasn't always smooth. Tapes got chewed, CDs skipped like crazy, and early MP3 players kinda looked like flash drives on life support. But this messy little journey, it led us to where we are now. Wireless, sleek, touch-controlled, and streaming everything instantly. So let's rewind and look at how music players evolved from chunky bricks to basically invisible. Spoiler, the Walkman was just the beginning. Let's rewind. Literally.
Another product, another day. Hi, it's Xerxes from Xerx Ideas, where I show you how products in our everyday lives help us improve our quality of life.
Walkman. Back in 1979, Sony was like, what if people could listen to music while moving around, without carrying a giant boombox? Boom, the Sony Walkman was born. It was small-ish, had buttons you had to actually press, and played cassette tapes. Yup, those plastic rectangles full of music that could actually melt in the sun. But back then, this was the future. It gave people something we now take for granted. Portable music. You pop in your favorite tape, slap on those chunky foam headphones, hit play, and suddenly, it's you against the world with your own soundtrack. No ads, no algorithms, no skip limits. Just your tape, front to back. And if you wanted to hear your favorite song again, you rewound it, manually, with a pencil if you were broke. It was about the experience. The mixtapes you made, the care you put into picking songs. Every track meant something. But let's not sugarcoat it. Walkmans had issues. First of all, cassette tapes could betray you. They'd get stuck, or unspool, or snap. You'd be vibing, and suddenly the music cuts off, and you're just standing there like, hello? Second, batteries. These things ate A's like candy. If your Walkman died mid-song, that was it. No fast charging, just sadness. And if you wanted to skip a song, you fast-forwarded blindly. You guessed where the next track started. It was like musical roulette. Sony kept evolving the Walkman. CD Walkmans, mini-disc Walkmans. Though eventually, the MP3 player came in and bodied everything. By the early 2000s, the Walkman went from being the device to a museum piece. But that legacy? Still real. It walked so everything else could run. Now, Walkmans are having a retro comeback. People are realizing there's something kind of magical about physical music. No distractions. Just you, your music, and the click of that play button. It's lo-fi, it's vintage, and it's 100% focused. In a world full of endless scrolling, maybe we need a little rewind. So next time someone flexes their AirPods Max, just remember, there was a time when the coolest person in the room was the one with the Walkman and a fire mixtape. CDs! The shiny revolution in music! Hey everyone, welcome back. Today, we're spinning back the clock to an era of shiny discs and epic playlists. Yup, we're talking about CDs, the original game changer in music. Even if you're all about streaming now, stick around, because there's a cool story behind these little silver circles. Picture this. It's the early 80s. Vinyl's been spinning for decades. Cassettes are cool in their own way, but technology's itching to break new ground. Enter the compact DC, or CD for short. Developed in a joint effort between Philips and Sony, this shiny miracle made its grand debut in 1982. Suddenly, people could enjoy high-quality digital sound, all in a slim, durable disc. It was like magic. No more fuzzy vinyl scratches or tangled cassette tapes. Just pure, crystal-clear tunes. Alright, let's talk perks. First up, the sound quality. CDs brought digital audio to the masses, meaning no more annoying analog hiss or distortion. Every note was crisp, clean, and ready to rock. Then there was the convenience. You could skip tracks with the push of a button. No manual rewind needed. And let's be real, the disc's reflective surface? It was a style statement. For years, every CD collection on your shelf was like a treasure trove of art and memories. But hey, nothing's perfect. As epic as CDs were, they had some glitches. Ever had that mini heart attack when you saw a scratch on your favorite album? A little scratch could skip your jam mid-song and totally ruin the vibe. Also, CDs, despite their fancy digital sound, were still physical objects. That meant storing them took up space. And no, there wasn't an infinite playlist option tucked inside. You had to buy the whole album, even if you just wanted one song. And once streaming hit the scene, the convenience factor of carrying around a bulky collection just couldn't compete. Oh. So, as technology marched on, CDs gradually faded from the mainstream. The rise of MP3 and streaming services like Spotify kind of put the brakes on the CD era. But here's the cool part. They're not completely dead. Collectors and music enthusiasts still swear by them. CDs remind us of a time when music was a tactile experience, not just a swipe on your screen. It's nostalgia on a disc, a little piece of musical history that still resonates today. In a world where everything's instant and digital, the CD stands out as a symbol of a slower, more thoughtful way to enjoy music. Its shiny surface isn't just about aesthetics. It represents a milestone where quality, design, and music really came together. So, next time you see a CD glinting in the sunlight, give it a nod. It might be old school, but it paved the way for all the amazing music tech we have today. MP3. How digital music changed the game. The MP3, the digital file that flipped the script for music forever. Stick around because whether you live for playlists or still feel nostalgic for lost CDs, the MP3 revolution has something epic for you. Let's rewind to the early 90s. Back then, music was locked in bulky CDs and cassette tapes. Enter the MP3, a digital file format that condensed full albums into tiny, shareable bits of data. The real game changer? People discovering they could rip their favorite tunes off CDs and trade them online. Suddenly, your entire music library could fit on a computer's hard drive, and the internet became a massive jukebox. It was revolutionary, chaotic, and a little bit wild. Now, let's talk about why MP3 are pure gold. First, the convenience. Imagine carrying thousands of songs in your pocket instead of lugging around heavy CDs. That meant endless playlists, on-the-go jams, and, most importantly, freedom to switch tracks without missing a beat. The MP3's compressed format let artists and fans share music like never before, sparking a global explosion of creativity and making discovering new sounds ridiculously easy. And who could ignore the aesthetics? That blip of digital noise and pixelated album art became the soundtrack of our youth and gave birth to the remix culture we love today. But it wasn't all rainbows and earbud bliss. With MP3 came some serious downsides. For one, once the world caught on to file sharing, the music industry got hit hard by piracy. Artists and record companies scrambled to make sense of this digital jungle. And let's not even talk about the infamous MP3 quality debate. Sure, files were small and easy to share, but sometimes that meant sacrificing sound quality. It was a trade-off, smaller file sizes versus a bit of audio clarity. Also, in the early days, downloading music was like playing digital Russian roulette. You never knew if the file would actually work or if your computer would suddenly slow to a crawl. Not exactly the smooth streaming life we have today. As technology evolved, so did the MP3. The format paved the way for portable digital music players and ultimately the smartphones we can't live without. Even with streaming taking over, the MP3's impact remains undeniable. Its impact was the spark that ignited our obsession with digital music libraries and created a culture of sharing and remixing that still thrives today. It taught us that music doesn't have to be physical to be real. Sometimes, the magic is in the data. So, next time you hit play on your favorite playlist, remember the digital revolution that made it all possible. The MP3 wasn't just a file format. It was a cultural shift that forever changed how we experience music. iPod, the little device that changed everything. Hey, Gen Z and Gen Alpha, ever heard of the iPod? Yeah, that tiny rectangle your parents used to carry around like it was made of gold? Well, sit tight, Because we're diving into the OG music player that walked so your AirPods could run. Picture this. It's 2001. There's no Spotify, no YouTube Music, no TikTok sounds to discover new bangers. If you wanted to hear your favorite song, you either bought the CD or downloaded it on LimeWire and gave your family computer a virus. Enter the iPod. Apple drops this sleek, shiny device that could hold 1,000 songs in your pocket. 1,000 songs. People lost their minds. It was like carrying a jukebox in your jeans. The iPod wasn't just a music player. It had style. That iconic scroll wheel, the satisfying click, the white earbuds that screamed, "I'm cooler than you." It turned music into a vibe. You weren't just listening, you were curating your own personal soundtrack. Apple kept dropping new versions. The iPod mini, cutest thing ever. The Nano, thin as a credit card. The Shuffle, no screen, just vibes. And of course, the iPod Touch, which was basically the iPhone's baby cousin. But let's be real, it wasn't all perfect. You had to use iTunes, cue dramatic music, and syncing your songs, absolute nightmare. One wrong click, and poof, your entire library disappeared. And if your iPod died, you needed that chunky 30-pin charger that never fit right on the first try. Also, if you didn't buy your songs, you were probably spending 6 hours trying to find a good torrent file that didn't secretly include a Rickroll. Slowly, the iPod faded into the background. Apple officially discontinued it in 2022. RIP to a legend. Gone, but not forgotten. But here's the thing, iPods still hit different. They were distraction-free, just music. No notifications, no doom scrolling, no FOMO. Just you and your playlist. Now, some people are even bringing them back for that nostalgic core aesthetic and the digital detox. Maybe it's time we stop sleeping on the iPod and start appreciating what it taught us. That sometimes, less is more. And music? Music is meant to be felt. So next time your phone dies mid-jam, just remember, there was a time when the iPod ruled the world. iPhone, the revolutionary device that changed everything. Then came the iPhone in 2007. It was like the iPod, but also a phone, camera, internet device. Basically a Swiss Army knife. We're diving into the wild story of the iPhone, a device that didn't just make calls, but literally changed the game for how we connect, create, and live our lives. Whether you're obsessed with your smartphone or just curious about tech history, let's hit play and rewind. Alright, so imagine it's 2007. Apple's already making a name for itself. But then, bam! Steve Jobs steps on stage and drops the mic with the first iPhone. It was the sleek device that combined a phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator into one. Before that, smartphones were clunky and complicated. The iPhone, with its touchscreen and minimal design, was revolutionary. It made tech feel personal and, surprisingly, fun. Let's talk about what made the iPhone so epic. First up, the touchscreen. No more clunky keyboards. Just a swipe, tap, and boom. You're navigating your life like a pro. It wasn't just about the looks. Apple introduced an ecosystem of apps that transformed how we communicate, work, and have fun. Suddenly, your phone became your camera, your messenger, your map, and even your personal DJ. The iPhone also sparked a design revolution. Its sleek, minimalist style, instant classic. It set the standard for modern devices. And, let's be honest, there's still a lot of work to be done. Just something satisfying about unlocking your phone with a swipe and seeing a cascade of colorful apps. But nothing's perfect, even for the iPhone. For starters, early models had issues like battery life that barely got you through the day. And let's be real, as these phones got smarter, they also got a bit pricier. The cost of owning the latest model? Ouch! There's also the never-ending debate. How much storage do you actually need? Ever tried choosing between 64 gigabytes and 256 gigabytes? It feels like a life decision every year. And while iPhones brought incredible innovation, they also set off a frenzy of competitors trying to keep up, sometimes leading to a chaotic market full of similar-looking devices. And yes, our beloved iPhone can be a bit fragile. One fall or accidental spill, and suddenly you're on a mission to get it fixed, or worse, hunting for a cheaper replica. As the years went by, the iPhone kept evolving. Every new model pushed the boundaries of what a smartphone could do, from dual cameras to augmented reality and insane processing power. The iPhone has been in a constant race with innovation itself. But what really sticks is its legacy. The iPhone didn't just change technology. It changed our culture. It redefined social media, photography, even the way we date and live daily. Whether you're snapping a selfie or ordering food on the go, chances are you're riding on the wave that started with that first touchscreen marvel. So, next time you unlock your phone, take a sec to appreciate how far we've come. From that first revolutionary moment in 2007 to the powerhouse we can't live without today, the iPhone truly changed everything, making our lives smarter, more connected, and a whole lot more fun. If you enjoyed this trip down tech memory lane, smash that like button, hit subscribe for more tech throwbacks, and drop your favorite iPhone moment in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one, and remember to stay curious.